to watch TVP on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think unlike a match like TVZ where you can really abuse the high ground, Protoss just have a lot of instruments in their arsenal to deal with any kind of turn shenanigans like that. And I think it's just, in general, it's a good map for taking an early expansion because you have that really nice choke. So I'm excited to see what both players decide to do with this.
Yep, looks like we're going to have close air spawns here as RSVP spawning as the blue Protoss in the northern position, with DDE spawning as the red Terran in the eastern position.
Yeah, certainly. And yeah, obviously this is a close air position, so one that favors drop play heavily. Yeah, I think last game, RCP, he did, just a perfect build for the map, getting that early expand and immediately throwing down a Twilight Council and Dark Shrine to make sure he could deal with any kind of all-in, and I think he just read DDE perfectly. And now it's sort of up to DDE to try to do something a little bit different. I'd like to see him actually go for an early expansion this time, instead of just faking an early expansion, because I think it's really easy to hold one on this map. But we will see what RSVP has in his book of tricks. I'm not as familiar with his PVT, so I'm not really sure what kind of style of play he usually favors.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, the expansion builds are just so great on this map, and given the close spawn here, it's going to be a lot easier to deny a probe getting into his base, assuming RSVP does that normal scout with the gateway probe. And I mean, it's, he's going to have to, unless he does something wacky here and scouts the close air spawn first, he's going to have to be checking all the other spawn locations. And DDE is getting his gas, so very standard here.
Yeah, very standard play. He's not going for any kind of cheesy all-in. He knows that RSVP knows how to deal with that. We see RSVP scouting in the normal scout direction, so he's going to probably end up scouting DDE last, giving DDE a lot of time to get out of Marine to hopefully deny the probe scout as he gets a fairly early barracks.
Once again, RSVP putting this pylon here to be able to warp in on both sides of the line of sight blockers. Always good to see there.
Yeah, smart move from him, as we see that he does throw down a cybernetics core. I don't really see a reason for him not to just go for a one gate expand again. He knows he can hold off a lot of aggression. I think he has competent enough micro that he could deal off with any kind of early concussive shell push. So I'd like to see him just do another early expand and try to settle into a macro game, and hopefully can have a nice 20-minute long game go.
Yeah, I would definitely love to see that. Looks like a tech lab coming up here, as well as a second barracks, with the second depot going down at the choke point here, so just helping to narrow that, in case he wants to get a bunker or wall that off. And the probe just going to be chilling in the base, seeing no gas, thinking, oh, okay, my opponent, I imagine, would like to expand. And as you can see here, this probe getting shooed away, not going to be able to see that this gas geyser's up, not going to be able to see the second barracks. And looks like concussive shell on the way, as well as a marauder about to pop out here.
Yeah, definitely. And right now, it's sort of hard to get a read on DDE. I mean, he can sort of transition out of anything from here. I'd like to see him expand. As I said before, he has one gas, so his tech is going to be nice and timely. And at the moment, yeah, it looks like RSVP, he is chrono boosting off his gateway, so it looks like he's definitely saving up for a nexus of his own. So once he makes sure he can deal with the early aggression, I think he'll be fine, and he'll just expand and try to get an early economic lead.
Yeah, and we see that trademark, one Stalker, one Zealot, with that original scouting probe going to come in here and poke up, but there's two Marauders and concussive shell is just about done, so he needs to tread lightly. We saw, this is the area of the game actually where he took out, I'm trying to think of, it was actually Red Alert, Yeah. Just a bit of miss micro, this battle is just so crucial for, letting yourself be comfortable to expand, and I think losing this Zealot, as well as I believe he lost the probe too, it's really not going to make him feel comfortable to expand whatsoever. But I think he should probably still go ahead and do it.
Yeah, so he's just going to expand anyway. It's pretty ballsy play right now. I think he's confident enough in his micro that he thinks he can deal with these extra units, but I'm not so sure, because he only has 3 Stalkers right now. There's a lot of Marauders on the field, 3 Marauders. They all have concussive shell, and they will be able to just pretty much negate any kind of micro that the Stalkers would hope to do. As he positions those units on the high ground to get a few pot shots, really nice play. And I think if DDE just wants to, there we go for the Nexus, try to force a cancel of some kind, and just guard that ramp, he'll be absolutely fine. But it looks like RCP is preparing to just bring down some probes, try to lock those Marauders in place as a bunker is going up. That bunker is going to absolutely fail, though. And really nice move from RCP as he moves those probes into the position to kill off those units.
Yeah, but the fresh reinforcements here really helping DDE, and looks like he's going to target down, almost killing, and man, some of these probes are just so injured, pulling back rest of his Stalkers. One of the Stalkers with 1 hit point. And the SCV did, of course, go down, so that bunker not going to be able to finish. A command center about half done for DDE, so they're both going to have pretty timely expansions here, but ooh, these stalkers getting off so many free hits.
Yeah, and I think RSVP, he just has such really good timing. I mean, he got up his 3 gateways just in time for his warp gate research, so he was pretty safe once that went up, and he's not economically behind at all. I mean, he got his expansion up a little bit earlier, and he didn't lose all that many probes. He is ahead in harvesters at the moment, so overall, I think it was a fairly even trade between the players.
I think it was absolutely even. We see the food is 41 or 42 to 43 now. The worker count is 25 SVs to 29 probes, which is exactly what you would expect at a stage in the game like this. And we see DDE is taking down the rocks at his gold, so this is fantastic. You know, gonna definitely see him trying to expand there relatively soon. It's always nice to take those out pretty quickly to you know, just be able to expand at your convenience, but you know, usually seeing him take those out is a sign that he wants to you know, he's comfortable playing that longer game.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, it looks like DDE is going to start working on those backdoor, not backdoor rocks, the gold expo rocks. So I really like that. He's opening up the option for him right now. I don't think he plans on expanding all that quickly because he is spending his minerals rather quickly. But it does make sure that if he needs to in the heat of battle while pressuring, he will have a nice, very saturated gold expo to come back home to. As we see that stim is about to finish.
Indeed, that's exactly what I was about to mention, as well as the reactor and starport about to finish. He's got enough gas for about 1 medevac right now, probably going to pump out another as soon as he can. He is taking the 3rd geyser at his natural, so I wonder if he's going to immediately start going for any drop play. There's an observer out, which should be able to spot anything and negate that kind of play, but you know, you can always snipe that. There is a scouting factory on the way, going to get a good look at the Protoss base.
Yeah, and RCP extremely prepared for any kind of drops. He has his stalkers in position in the base, and yeah, it looks like DDE is not going to decide to drop. He's rallying his medevac down to the choke of his natural expansion. And I think he's just content to macro up, play a nice, safe, solid game, and hopefully go for an early 3rd. As he is saving up his minerals to get another expansion. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised no effort from RSVP to take out the rocks quite yet. He's somewhat light on unit, knows he actually needs to really dedicate the stalkers to defending, you know, from any drop play here.
Yeah, I think what he wants to do is just make sure he doesn't lose to a stim timing, because he knows when stim is out, he's definitely at peril. And I think DDE is smart enough for the player that he'll know if RSVP goes for those gold minerals, that'll be a position where he can just move a bigger force in and kill off a lot of units, and RSVP can just auto lose from there. So I sort of get the reasoning for him not breaking down the gold expo right now.
DDE does drop a scan, and this is a nice little timing here. He's combat shield just finishing, gonna ferry some units up to the high ground. Of course, the observer is seeing everything, warping in a bunch of zealots, and oh man, I don't think this is good. Oh, I think he's gonna lose that drop.
Oh, yeah, utterly failed drop.
And that is really gonna set DDE back so far. That is really unfortunate for DDE.
Yeah, certainly. And if we look at the units lost, it's 2-1 pretty much in RSVP's favor. So DDE needs to make something happen right now. I think he needs to just call off this contain, because there's no way he's going to be able to deal with any kind of forces. And if the quick force field goes off, he's really going to be in big trouble. Going to try to kill off that pylon and just run away, I think. I think that should be the smart decision. Ooh!
Going to pick off some stalkers as well. Very nice. You know, you can see up there with the factory, knows that the rest of these sentries are, you know, back, and he's going to actually send a Marine up, take a look at this gold, and then rally that out to check out the other expansions too. So, I mean, you know, despite losing that medevac there, DDE's still feeling pretty comfortable and exuding a lot of map control. He's really delayed the Colossus, but one Colossus is about to pop, another's queued up, range is on the way, so things are going to start getting a lot more precarious for my boy here, DDE. But he's getting Vikings out, so, I mean, that's obviously what he needs.
Yeah, and I really like what... I like conversely what RSVP is doing, throwing down that Twilight Council early. So he got that Colossus, and he's going to force a response from DDE, because obviously if you don't respond to the Colossi, you're pretty much just going to lose. And what he's doing in the meantime is not overcommitting, because he knows if a Vikings come out, it's very hard to hold on to them. Instead, just go for Twilight Council tech and transition into a late game with High Templar. So I really like this this very methodical style of play.
Yeah, I'm wondering what he's going to do exactly, if he wants to just go right up to Templar, or, you know, what I like to see is just getting charged first. The charge just helps so much, you know. Basically, the Terran usually switches into almost pure Marauders and Vikings after seeing all this Colossus. And, you know, Zealots are just so good at tanking the Colossus. You know, with Charge, it really makes it hard to, you know, push forward with your Marauders to snipe out any Colossus. So we will see.
Yeah, definitely. And right now he is working on level 1 ground upgrades for Protoss. So DDE is going to be ahead in upgrades at the moment. But I mean, I think right now he's just trying to make sure that RSVP doesn't go for anything like a heavy early third while he gets up his gold himself. So I think DDE is making the smart moves. He just needs to be careful that he does not lose that force up there, because there's no way he's going to be able to take on that Colossus ball.
Yeah, he really needs to be careful, get a good arc. His charge is on the way, and these Colossus just going to get poking out, and it looks like, here we go, going to get an engagement now.
Yeah, and here we go. RSVP determined to bust a contain. Oh, and it looks like DDE, I think mistakenly, is just going to go for it and try to fight off these forces, but this is a huge blunder on DDE's part. There's no way he's going to be able to hold off these forces, but so many Immortals and Zealots and those Colossi are going down, but overall, the ground force has proved superior for RSVP.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty big trade there, definitely in RSVP's favor, but it bought a lot of time for DDE, and you know what, he did actually kill all the Colossus, so all is not lost in that command center. It's just about finished. You know, if he's got some energy saved up to mule hard, he can really leap forward. He's just pumping out tons and tons of Marauders here.
Yeah, and this is some key timing. I mean, he has to be very, very strategic with his units. He has to make sure that he's very efficient with them, because right now, he's in a position where if he loses that gold, pretty much everything that he set up to contain for will be for naught. And as he tries to transform into a planetary fortress, it will not become one in time, as he moves all these SCVs and Marauders to try catch all these units at the goal. And now all of a sudden RCP is in the uncomfortable position. Some very nice force fields going down though, as we got a little bit of lag from Entropy Fails.
And yeah, I mean, that planetary fortress just got owned, and I don't know, things are looking pretty rough. RSVP is getting his next Nexus up, and I mean, just with these Immortals just plowing through units, Charge is done, the Zealots are doing so good, and I don't know, I think game 2 is going to be going to RSVP here.
Yeah, 8 and 11 kills respectively on those Immortals, 12 kills before that hero went down, and look at that, even a Colossus on DDE's own high ground. Beautiful, beautiful play, and at this point, yeah, he expected GG. So I think, honestly, I think if RSVP had not busted that contain so strongly, if DDE had just disengaged, I think it would have turned out a lot differently, and at least gone into a longer macro game.